the summer of 1928, a 46-year-old woman named Emma Schmidt, known to the world by the pseudonym Anna Eklund, arrived at a remote convent in Earling, Iowa. Her journey to this desolate place had been decades in the making, marked by unspeakable torment that had begun when she was just 16 years old. Emma wasn't your typical middle-aged woman from Wisconsin. For 30 years, she had lived in the shadow of something dark and malevolent. The voices that whispered blasphemies in her ear, the uncontrollable fits of rage, the revulsion toward anything sacred. These weren't symptoms of mental illness, according to those who knew her. They were signs of something far more sinister. The possession hadn't happened overnight. It had crept into Emma's life like poison seeping through cracks. As a teenager, she had been cursed, or so the story goes, by her own father and Aunt Mina, both practitioners of dark magic who had grown furious with her growing devotion to Catholicism. What started as occasional outbursts evolved into something horrifying. Emma would speak in languages she had never learned, her voice transforming into something guttural and inhuman. She would levitate above her bed, her body contorting in impossible ways. Most disturbing of all, she seemed to know things, intimate secrets about priests and nuns that no mortal person could possibly know. By 1928, Emma's condition had become unbearable. Local priests were baffled, doctors were helpless, and her family was desperate. That's when they turned to Father Theophilus Reisinger, a German-born Capuchin monk who had already performed over 20 exorcisms in his lifetime. On August 18, 1928, Father Reisinger arrived in Earling, Iowa, accompanied by Father Joseph Steiger, the local parish priest, who would serve as his assistant. The Franciscan convent of the Sisters of the Precious Blood would serve as their battlefield, a place they hoped would provide the spiritual fortification needed for what lay ahead. What they encountered defied all explanation. Emma didn't just resist the exorcism, she seemed to transform entirely. Her body became rigid as steel, requiring multiple people to hold her down. She would float several feet above the bed, suspended in midair for minutes at a time, defying the very laws of physics. But it was the voices that truly chilled everyone present. 4 distinct entities spoke through Emma's lips: Judas Iscariot, the ultimate betrayer; Beelzebub, one of the princes of hell; her deceased Aunt Mina; and most horrifyingly, her own father, both still tormenting her from beyond the grave. The exorcism stretched on for 23 agonizing days from August to December. Each session was a war zone of supernatural terror. Emma would projectile vomit with inhuman force, her body temperature would spike to dangerous levels, and the smell of decay would fill the room without any identifiable source. The demons knew things they shouldn't know. Personal details about the priests' lives, sins they had never confessed, intimate secrets that made hardened clergy members weep. They would taunt and threaten, speaking perfect Latin despite Emma having no formal education. Father Reisinger later reported that Emma would hang in the air like a crucified figure, her limbs stretched in impossible positions. The nuns who witnessed these events would later describe seeing her body twisted into shapes that should have broken every bone in her body. As December approached, the battle intensified. The demons fought with increasing desperation, knowing their time was running short. Emma's physical condition deteriorated rapidly. She appeared to be dying, her body unable to withstand the supernatural assault any longer. On December 23, 1928, after months of spiritual warfare, something shifted. The room fell silent. Emma's body, which had been contorted in agony, suddenly relaxed. The voices that had tormented everyone present simply stopped. Father Reisinger performed the final prayers, and Emma Schmidt opened her eyes, her own eyes, for the first time in months. The demons were gone. Emma's story should have ended there, but mystery shrouds her final years. No photographs of her exist, no birth certificate has ever been found, no record of her death has been discovered. It's as if Emma Schmidt simply vanished from history after her exorcism, leaving behind only the terrifying accounts of those who witnessed her ordeal. The case was documented in a 48-page booklet called Begone Satan, published in the early 1930s. This account would later inspire William Peter Blatty's research for his novel The Exorcist, and many of the most iconic scenes from the famous film, the levitation, the projectile vomiting, the inhuman contortions, have their origins in the testimonies surrounding Emma Schmidt. Today, nearly a century later, the Earling exorcism remains one of the most well-documented cases of demonic possession in American history. Skeptics argue it was mass hysteria or mental illness, but those who were there, the priests, the nuns, the witnesses, took their accounts to their graves, never wavering in their testimony. Emma Schmidt's story serves as a chilling reminder that there are forces in this world beyond our understanding, lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike. Her 23 days of hell in that Iowa convent represent humanity's ongoing battle between good and evil, a battle that sometimes gets far more real than we'd like to believe. What did you think of Emma Schmidt's terrifying ordeal? Have you ever experienced something unexplainable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more bone-chilling true stories that will keep you awake at night. Remember, sometimes the most terrifying stories are the ones that actually happened. Hit that notification bell because you never know when the next tale of supernatural terror will drop. And if you're brave enough, share this story with someone who thinks they don't believe in the paranormal. Stay safe.